الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن وأحصوا العدة واتقوا الله ربكم لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا يخرجن إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة وتلك حدود الله ومن يتعد حدود الله فقد ظلم نفسه لا تدري لعل الله يحدث بعد ذلك أمرا فإذا بلغن أجلهن فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو فارقوهن بمعروف وأشهدوا ذوي عدل منكم وأقيموا الشهادة لله ذلكم يوعظ به من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه إن الله بالغ أمره قد جعل الله لكل شيء قدرا واللائي يئسن من المحيض من نسائكم إن ارتبتم فعدتهن 3 أشهر واللائي لم يحضن وأولاة الأحمال أجلهن أن يضعن حملهن ومن يتق الله يجعل له من أمره يسرا ذلك أمر الله أنزله إليكم ومن يتق الله يكفر عنه سيئاته ويعظم له أجرا أسكنوهن من حيث سكنتم من وجدكم ولا تضاروهن لتضيقوا عليهن وإن كن أولات حمل فأنفقوا عليهن حتى يضعن حملهن فإن أرضعن لكم فآتوهن أجورهن وأتمروا بينكم بمعروف وإن تعاسرتم فسترضع له أخرى لينفق ذو سعة من سعته ومن قدر عليه رزقه فلينفق مما آتاه الله لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما آتاها سيجعل الله بعد عسر يسرا وكأين من قرية عتت عن أمر ربها وهو فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا وعذبناها عذابا نكرا فذاقت وبال أمرها وكان عاقبة أمرها خسرا أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا فاتقوا الله يا أولي الألباب الذين آمنوا قد أنزل الله إليكم ذكرا رسولا يتلو عليكم آيات الله مبينات ليخرج الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات من الظلمات إلى النور ومن يؤمن بالله ويعمل صالحا يدخله جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا قد أحسن الله له رزقا الله الذي خلق 7 سماوات ومن الأرض مثلهن يتنزل الأمر بينهن لتعلموا أن الله على كل شيء قدير وأن الله قد أحاط بكل شيء علما.
it had built in before, and I still was using the headset. So how was that? It had built in before, and I still was using the headset. Okay, now hold on. Let me see if it mutes it again. I got it off. I got it off. So I'm gonna go to the. I didn't want to catch the sound of the fan. So I apologize for that audio issue. I didn't want to catch the sound of this. I apologize. This headset usually works, but we'll go without it right now. Now the topic: high dowries, must they be earned? High dowries, must they be earned? Uh, First, we have to get some definitions out of the way. What is considered a high dowry? Let's go beyond or before that. What is a dowry? A dowry is a sadaq, a free gift paid to a woman, not a family, not to parents, but to a woman upon uh, accepting, you know, upon the signing of an akazawaj, signing of a marital contract, a wedding contract. You would pay the mahar as part of that. Uh, this mahar is again sadaq. It's a free gift. It is something offered to a woman. It's not something that's demanded or that is a set price. Uh, so again, it's an offering. In the Sunnah of the Rasul Muhammad Sallam, this could be an iron ring. It can be knowledge of Quran or something similar. Like memorizing a hadith, the isnad of a hadith. It can be anything. Basically, it has no ceiling and it has no basement. So it could be, Allah says, qintar. It can be a mountain of gold. And Allah says you have no right to take it back from a woman. So be careful what you offer, because that, in the case of khula'a, that has to be returned. So that's another issue. We'll discuss that. But the dowry, again, is a free gift given. Is not the woman's worth. It's not her value. It's just to show the man is showing sincerity. And again, from the Sunnah of our Rasul Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, a man was told, "Can you find a ring?" He said, "I cannot find a ring, Ya Rasulullah." He said, "Can you even find an iron ring?" Now, how much value do we put on an iron ring? This may not sit well with some that demand high dowries, but an iron ring was something that was suggested by the Rasul Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam from his Sahaba, you know, to one of his Sahabiyat, you know. So again, radiallahu anhum. So that is the dowry, a sadaq. It's something offered, not something that is demanded. Can the woman say, uh, if you offer her an iron ring, can the woman say, "I would like 2 iron rings"? Yes, she can say that, but she doesn't walk around with a 2 iron ring price tag on her. Okay, so we know what the dowry is. In the Hindu custom, the dowry is given from the wife's family to the man. Basically, they're paying him to take their daughter. In Islam, we have no such tradition. The dowry is paid directly to the woman. Now, this dowry Islamically had been muddled and muddied by traditional Muslims, where you have to pay the parents, and they don't call it a dowry. They call that payment, that extra payment of thousands of dollars to the parents, they call that a gift. Now, what gift do people stand in demand of? I know brothers that got married had to pay, in the African, Somali, and what have you tradition, had to pay the parents. I wouldn't give the parents a dime because I don't have a dalil for that. And if it's a gift, I'll send you a card. I'm not going to send you thousands of dollars. And when you open up that card, you would have no cash therein. So now we cleared up what a dowry is and what is the standard of it Islamically. If you have a different evidence, bring it. I think that emotions do not count as dalil, so I think the evidence I quoted stands. After this, what is considered high? Well, because people have attached dowry to the worth of the woman, And this is where the high dowries are coming from, the exorbitant dowries. Now, how do you define high? Anything beyond of what the best of women receive. Now, we can't use the dowry of Khadija radiallahu anha, which wasn't that high. Uh, Even by today's scaled standards, it wasn't that high. But we can't use that because that was 15 years before the Wahy. We cannot use before the Wahy as a dalil. Only time we go before the Wahy is to set the stage for how the Wahy changed matters. Like, for instance, we can say before the Wahy, a man would have 100 wives, no responsibility. They would be like chattel property of his. They didn't have any rights to inheritance. Whatever they owned, he consumed it as a husband. Women had no right to vote. They had no this. They had no say. They had no right to divorce. Islam came and gave women all of that, and it limited the marriage to 4 at the most that you can have as wives, if you can financially take care of them. So we use that history before Islam to set the stage for what Islam brought us, but we don't use the history as an evidence, not even the history of Islam as an evidence. Because why? Because after the time of Rasulullah, the Wahy stopped, except for the ijma of the Sahaba, the consensus of the Sahaba, that is considered a source of hukum sharia. But you won't find anything in the ijma of the Sahaba that contradicts what was brought by the Rasul Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because Muhammad said his ummah would not agree on khata, they would not agree on mistake. In another hadith, they said this, my ummah would never agree on kufr. Okay, so again, dealing with high, what was the best of women's dowry? Since we're going to put a price on the mahar, okay. What was the best of women's dowry? Let's look at someone that was considered of the best of women. Fatima radiallahu anha. What was her dowry? Some say just over $100. Okay, are women that's demanding 10, 20, $50,000? I did one. I witnessed one marriage. Actually, I didn't come in on the marriage part. I came in on the divorce part. And the brother was a doctor. He owed her 50,000. Sister from Egypt. He owed her 50,000, and she called me and said, "Hey, I need you to mediate. He's not giving me my money, and we are almost at divorce, and he did not pay me my dowry that we agreed upon initially." So we negotiated. I think he wrote her a check for $30,000, and he wrote one of those doctor's check. If you ever see those really big, long checks, he wrote her an actual doctor's check. Looked like a certified post office money order, but that actually was a doctor's check. It's similar to if you start a business and you print it, and they allowed you to print your own checks that you would indeed sign. It was one of those really, really fancy checks, you know. So anyway, so I think she got 30,000 out of that deal, and she was okay with that. Okay, so that's one deal. But I'm saying, like, the best of the women, what did they receive? Because we, just like sisters will readily say that we are not the best of the men, right? And I think what I did, I think I had it on the wrong screen. That's why the audio did that, maybe. Anyway, the sisters will readily say that we are not the best of men. We are not like the Sahaba or the Tabi'un or Tabi'in. We are not like them. Readily so, we can say, okay, the sisters are not like the best of women, but we're talking about the dowries now. We're talking about the mahar, the sadaq now. So how high is high? I say whatever exceeds the dowry of Fatima radiallahu anha is considered high. We have to agree on a standard. We have to locate a standard, a medium, and then we have to say from this high. Like when the ulama were discussing what would constitute khabar ahad or singular reports. Okay, what would constitute khabar ahad? Some say it has to be 100 chains of sanad. You have to be 100 chains of narration before it reaches mutawatir. Above ahad mutawatir, right? And some say no, it has to be this many and that many. And what we adopted was that it has to be 5. Now, what was our logic for 5? Our logic for 5, anything under 5, 4 or less, is considered ahad, or singular report, khabar ahad. Okay, we agreed on 5. Why? Because 4 witnesses to, like say, zina, of adultery, is enough to put a Muslim to death by stoning, by the rajm. It's enough. 4 witnesses. Okay, so if 4 is sufficient for even to put a Muslim to death, then 5 is considered definite. So many ulama went with 5 as definite above the 4. Anything 4 or less is considered ahad, even though ahad means singular, and we know 4 is not single, but we're talking about the khabar, hadith reports. So 4 or less is considered ahad, 5 or more is considered mutawatir, or widespread, okay, or riwaya qat'iyah, definitive reportage, okay. So I'm just giving you the logic of why we have to pinpoint something in order to build from that. Okay, we have to pinpoint some medium and then build from that. So let's use the dowry given to the best of women. One of them, Fatima radiallahu anha. Okay, we'll use that. If she got $100 and something, and if you all do your research and do your calculations and modify it and bring it up to today's monetary inflationary standards, you still won't get a lot of money. Now, I know for a fact that I exceed those expectations. Okay, so I'm Mr. Anti-high dowry dude, because I think it limits our youth from marriage, and it makes them settle their quote unquote wiggles in other, or makes the shaitan's whispers more enticing, for them to settle their wiggles or satisfy their wiggles outside of something halal, because we've made the halal obsolete. I have witnessed marriages where the dowry was $1, literally $1. I've witnessed marriage where the woman actually wanted the man, and she said, "I don't even want a dowry." I say, "But we have to fulfill this in order to make this contract sahih." You know, the details and the structure. The structure, the dowry is part of the detail, and the receipt and giving of the dowry is part of the structure. Okay, so they had to receive one, but just as Amoo Yusuf stated, and many others have stated, that when a woman wants you, high dowries are a sign that she doesn't want you. You know what I'm saying? That's a clear sign that she doesn't want you. If a woman wants you, she won't charge you. Which listen to the language. If a woman wants you, she won't charge you. Listen to the language. Because we get into that. A woman is saying, "I want $10,000. I'm worth $10,000." What she's saying is she's worth more than Fatima radiallahu anha. She's saying she's worth more than Fatima. She's a higher quality than the daughter of the Rasul Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is what she's saying, without intending to say it. Literally, that's what's coming from her mouth. Okay, and you ask her, "What are you providing that is worth that? What are you providing that is worth that?" And what you find out is all that is being provided is how do you say, viscosity, uh, uh, cookies. What's vagina is not a bad word. Okay, so that's all that actually is being provided. Now that man could get the same thing that she has from another woman for way less. Plus, women that don't charge high dowries are more appreciative of what you do for them. Did not Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam indicate that the best of women are those that don't demand much for their dowry? And did he not indicate that the best of marriages are those that have a manageable sadaq? He indicated that. So why would Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam praise the woman that didn't ask for much in her mahar? Why would he do that if this was not an issue? If it was not an indication of the quality of woman that you're going to get? Now, as I mentioned before, the high dowry concept comes from those tawaghit, those non-Islamic rulers. It comes from asabiya, comes from tribalism and nationalism. Well, our women are worth this much money, and you, as a non whatever, can't marry our women, so on and so forth. These extravagant weddings and things like that. Allah Ta'ala tells us, do not spend where you too become destitute, where you too become indigent. You don't spend like that. Um, I know brothers that were stressed out and stretched on the spot, witnesses looking, onlookers looking, and the woman flipped the dowry right at the time of the Aqd Zawaj, right at the time of the signing of the marriage contract. She said she wanted this much. She doubled it right there when he was on the spot and sweating. That marriage lasted. Um, it lasted about enough time for them to make it to the hotel. You know, because when she removed that niqab, you know, you saw Snoop Dogg, and then he didn't want any more parts of that sister. And when he called me, I heard an engine in the background, 18 Willow. He said, brother, assalamu alaikum, Somali brother. He said, I can't do it. She took that niqab off. So I'm saying, what is the worth of? And I'm joking, but this is I didn't lie at all. This is a true fact, true joke. So what are you offering for the high dowry? Again, we've settled on, whether you agree or not, that a high dowry is more than what the best of women receive. So pick of your best of women. Like I said, you can't pick Khadija radiallahu anha. Why? Because that was 15 years before the wahy. How are you going to make that a legislative proof? You get it? So I hope we agree. Now, must high dowries be earned? Now, why did I term it that way? Because in recent times, not only Kafir women, but Muslim women have said that we as men must earn submissiveness. They say that I will be submissive to only the right man. So let's say a man is willing to pay $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 as a dowry, right? And there are some Homer Simpsons out there that will pay that, okay? But nevertheless, let's say he's willing to pay that. Did he earn your submissiveness? Was your submissiveness price tagged? Because Allah Ta'ala describes the believing women as submissive and honorable and not disgracing their husbands in his absence, guarding what Allah would have them guard even in their husband's absence. You know? So, not like a military wife where, you know the red light district. I don't know if y'all know where that came from. Was it blue light or red light? I forget the color. I think it was blue light. Military, I think it was blue light. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It's red or blue. Don't hold me to it. The concept is there, so listen to the concept. When the husband was away at war, in the theater of war, what they call it, the wives, the military wives, would put a different color bulb on their front porch, letting all the soldiers that were not deployed know that they were open, literally open for business. Okay? Literally open for business. And that's where that blue light, red light, whatever district thing came from. These wives would change the bulb and let people know they were free game. So, with this being said, they said we have to earn submissiveness. They say we have to earn submissiveness. So is there a price tag for submissiveness, or is that she stated La ilaha illallah wa Muhammadan Rasulullah, is that enough? We can agree that should be enough. That should be enough. But they say no, some men aren't worthy of submissiveness. Okay, then divorce that man. Don't hang around demanding his money. Don't hang around draining that man and stressing that man out when you can't be the wife that he anticipated. You can't be the traditional wife that he anticipated or that he desired. Why are you using him? Why are you stressing him out? Seek khula'ah, give him back his dowry, and move around and be submissive for the next highest bidder. That seemed like what we're coming to. Women actually stated, and these were not just kuffar women. I first heard it from the kuffar. I say, wow, that's crazy. And in my dialogue and discussions with Muslims, in the Muslimat, the female Muslim, what do we have? They said yes, a man must earn submissiveness. I would not be submissive to just any Muslim man. Well, I didn't ask you to be submissive at Alibaba, the Arabic, grocery store. I asked you to be submissive in the marriage. Okay, submissiveness even extends to madhab. Okay, your husband is upon this, and you are upon that. You're supposed to leave that and follow the leadership of your husband. Same if we had a Khalifa and you said niqab is fard and the Khalifa said no, it's not fard, then the women don't have to wear it. And if the Khalifa said the niqab was fard and you say it's not fard, your wife better not come outside without it on, because we follow the head. The husband in the home is the head, and that's how you keep harmony. So even madhab, personal opinions adopted from different ulama, right? Even in that, you're supposed to submit to your husband. You're not supposed to stick, what they say, stick to your guns. You're not supposed to stick to your guns when it comes to matters like that, because that can cause disharmony. One example, I gave it 1,000 times. One brother, his opinion that if a wife touches you skin to skin, it breaks your wudu. And the wife was like, you are following the weak opinion. My opinion is stronger. The lambs only pertain to strange women that are not your wives and not your, the ghayr mahram, uh, the women that were lawful to marry. Those women that are not your wives, not your mother, sister, aunts, aunts, nieces, so on and so forth. So you said, and he would make wudu and she would touch him just to bug him. Well, actually, even though she had the strongest opinion, she was supposed to go with his opinion, and he didn't demand that she adopt his opinion. So in this situation, it's okay. But normally, a husband would demand, look, let's get some harmony in the family, and you follow my opinion, me being the leader. Even if you consider my opinion as weak, my opinion is indeed from Islam, and that's what we're trying to arrive at. Islam. We're not trying to arrive at I'm right, you're wrong, and trying to one up your husband, or one up your wife. No, we're trying to arrive at the pleasure of Allah Ta'ala, you know. And those are two different Islamic understandings. One I find actually stronger because of the hadith of Muhammad making salat, and when he went down to prostrate, he would touch the foot of Aisha, radiallahu anha. He would touch her foot, skin to skin. So this didn't break his salat or his wudu. So that's what I follow. Back on track. High dowry is above what the best of women receive. A dowry is a free gift offered to a woman upon the signing of the contract, the aqd zawaj. Okay. Must women earn high dowries? Must they earn it? Okay. Women have said men must earn the submissiveness. Beyond that, let's go beyond that. Women said men must earn their femininity. You didn't hear me. I'll repeat it. Muslim women have said, Kufar women, of course, they say everything. Muslim women have said and followed them in tradition, shibran bi shibran with and bidra, and that we as men must earn their femininity. So if femininity must be earned, that means you're not naturally feminine, which means that you are out of your natural form. You are out of your traditional and natural form. Now, some of you may be saying, no, you ain't never heard that. Yeah, they said we must earn femininity. And they say that they will remain guarded, masculine, machismo, macho, until we prove ourselves for them to let their guards down. So, hence, I arrived at the topic, high dowries, must they be earned? You may say, how does a woman earn a dowry halal? It's not like she can, put it on him, and say, hey, you like that? Give me my money. Ain't like she can do it. That's not halal. How would she earn a high dowry? Okay, my suggestion is this. Wait for it. Okay, my suggestion is this, but I'm not saying Quran and Sunnah say this. I'm talking about men are being put in bad situations. We are getting a raw deal on marriage, Even by logic, by rationale, marriage doesn't make sense for us anymore. Except that we believe in Allah Ta'ala and His Rasul Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and cannot make zina. We cannot make zina. It's haram. So it's not an option for us. I know Muslims do it. I'm saying it's not an option for us. Okay? Meaning that it doesn't bring anything of good from it. Any child brought from it becomes a burden on the community and not on the man, because it becomes the woman's child. So this is the issue that we are dealing with. How does a woman earn a high dowry? My suggestion is this. Pay her $1. Pay her $1 upon the marriage contract and write down whatever she asks for to be paid. If you agree with that. I wouldn't agree to it, but if you agree with that, write down what is to be paid later and have a 5-year, I say 5-year, good odd number, Muhammad some like odd numbers, a good 5-year trial period that they are submissive. They're not giving you any headaches or trouble. 5-year that they are feminine and they have not taken on a masculine form and tried to stud up on you. Okay? They have not gotten any new tattoos within the 5 years, you know. So have that 5-year thing, and you pay them yearly in escrow. You pay them yearly in a trust or escrow that, okay, let's say she wants $10,000. So you gave her $1 initially, and you're gonna put $2,000 every year. Let's say the end of every Ramadan, every Eid al-Fitr. That's you know, or the Eid Adha, some demarcation. Okay, you pay her. You put $2,000 in escrow for that first year. Then you put $2,000 for the next year. 2,000. If my math is correct, you'll end up with $10,001 that you gave as the mahar. Or you can, the last payment can be $9,999. It doesn't matter. So you reach $10,000, and at the end of 5 years, she can withdraw it. Okay, she can withdraw it unless she wants khula. So here's a remedy for that. Half of it can only be withdrawn after 5 years. So she only gets $5,000 after 5 years. That other 5 remains in escrow until you pretty much, you know, she dies or something, and you die. Or you settle on, okay, she's not going to ask for khula. We're actually genuinely in love. She genuinely is feminine, genuinely is submissive. So she can withdraw the other 5. Or you just keep it there, because women don't return high dowries. They don't. Can you, I would ask that you do, look within yourself, look around you, where a woman has sought khul'a, she sought emancipation, freedom from the marriage, she annulled the marriage like it never happened, and returned the dowry. I mean the high one. I'm not talking about she returned the $1. Did she return the dowry? I've seen sisters with my own eyes had open discussions where they say he ain't getting a dime. He ain't getting a dime. Now this is where the wali or the wakil steps in and say, look, haram. Haram ilayk. You know, it's haram. It's haram. Give him back. What happened when Zainab radiallahu anha wanted a divorce from Zayd? Zayd radiallahu anha gave her a garden. Muhammad sallallahu said, return his garden and wait your iddah. Return his garden and wait your iddah, which is for khul'a is one menstrual cycle. One menstrual cycle instead of the normal 3. And if she is post menstruation, you know, then, you know, she would wait, you know, 30 days, you know, just to count for it, or to calculate for it. So this is what we're dealing with. What about that suggestion? If you think my suggestion is silly, my suggestion is halal. But if you think it's silly because you didn't find the Sahaba doing it, then find the Sahaba that paid the high dowry. If you think my suggestion is silly because the Salaf didn't do it, then find the Salaf that paid the high dowry. If a man must earn what should be naturally with the believing woman, submissiveness, If a man must earn what should be naturally with any woman, which is femininity, then why can't we too protect ourselves and say you must earn the dowry that you're asking for? It's already a problem that you're asking for it. It's a problem that you're asking for it. Now, for those of you that were not born and raised Muslim and never sinned, and your parents were Muslim and you never missed a salat, and you floated into Islam as a baby. For those of you, uh, sit back for a second and let us that actually embraced Islam and found it, embraced it, Tawfiq or Irshad, or however we found Hidayah, however we found Islam. Let us talk about this. What women walk around with a price tag, and if you don't pay that price tag, you don't get them? What women are these? For those of us that were not raised in the Islamic State like Muslims from overseas think they were, I'm being facetious. But what women walk around with a price tag, and if you don't fulfill that price tag, you can't gain knowledge of them. There's a better way to say than have sex. You can't gain any knowledge of them if you don't pay that price tag. What type of woman is that? You say, astaghfirullah, the dowry is from Islam, and da-da-da-da-da. Yes, the dowry is from Islam. When did it become high? When Islam became absent. When Islam became absent, the dowry became high, marriage became obsolete. The Muslims felt pressure to do other things, to relieve themselves, not justifying it, but also, let's look at it this way. Women are complaining that they can't find any suitable brothers. They're not talking about deen. I know some deening brothers. They're not talking about deen, they're talking about dowry. Suitable brothers, not deen, they're talking about dowry. I can't find any suitable brothers. That wasn't a Freudian slip. Simpable. It takes a simp to pay a high dowry. Now, if you feel like I'm stepping on your sandals, on your high heels, and I shouldn't be saying that only simps pay high dowries. Well, people that have expendable incomes, like drug dealers and people that suck the oil of the ummah and sell it to the Yahud and to the enemies of Allah. Those people have expendable incomes in Dubai and Saudi and Kuwait and other places. They have expendable incomes in the Emirat. Those expendable incomes. So these people have money to burn. They have money to burn. Okay, literally burn with the oil. So they will pay these exorbitant amount of monies, and the women will feel like they are so special. These women are miserable. They are not happy. They cheat on their husbands. Yes, they do. I ain't saying all of them. There are reports of high dowry women cheating on their husband. Janet Jackson was a high dowry chick, right? She was a high dowry chick, and she wore some Adidas one day, and people thought that she took Shahada. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess if you wear Adidas, you're a Muslim. So anyway, Janet Jackson was in a contract that if she paid, that if she spent, I think it was 3 to 5 years or something in the marriage, and she didn't ask for khul'ah, she didn't ask for divorce, that she would get so many millions. It was in a trust fund. She would get so many millions from this ignorant dude. This dude is, oh man, it's one of the biggest simps. He's a handsome simp. I saw him in the hot tub together. Janet Jackson was, still fine at that old age. But anyway, they had a child, and then after Janet Jackson divorced him, and she got the cash out. She stayed in the marriage until she got the cash out, and nobody's going to argue with that. Sisters are going to say, "Oh yeah, get your money, girl. Get your money, Negro." They're going to say that. What happened after that? She claimed that she was abused. She claimed that she was almost kidnapped. She was held captive. She couldn't go anywhere. I saw her in a bikini. How free can you be? You ain't oppressed if you're in a bikini. You're oppressing yourself, but you're not oppressed if you're in a bikini. Because basically you have no God. If you're walking around in a bikini, you have no God. You have no shame. You have no dignity. You have no deen. And you have no God if you're walking around in public in a bikini. That's how it works. Are you saying only atheists wear bikinis? Well, it's a sign of atheism. Because if you think Allah is not seeing you, You think Allah, as the atheists say, is the flying spaghetti monster, something that's just made up, that is not holding you to account, and it's not, the angels are not writing down that public display of sin with no shame? Or did the young Arab brother make her go outside in a bikini? Well, he didn't make her grind on stage with random dudes from the audience in her concerts. So I have a hard time believing he made her immoral. He allowed her to be immoral because he's an immoral individual. Anybody that's sucking the blood and the oil of the ummah and living a lavish life, Allah Ta'ala say He will use those trinkets, those illegally earned dunya items as fuel to burn you with. And fuel needs what? Heat. Fire needs what? Fuel, heat, and what? Oxygen. What does the trinkets, the ill-gotten trinkets in the dunya represent? Represents the fuel. Has to have mass to burn. So nevertheless, must high dowries be earned? Or high dowries, must they be earned? I would say that if we have to earn submissiveness and we have to earn femininity, I say that you all should earn those high dowries. Or you can come down off your high horse, look and study. I'm not going to give the number. Look and study what was the dowry of the best of women. And if you're not offering that, you should not exceed that. Well, he's not like the Sahaba, but we're talking about the dowry. We're not talking about deen. We're talking about dowry. Yes, dowry is part of deen, but high dowry is not. So let's stay focused. Let's stay on topic. If you have anything else to add to this, inshallah, please give your comments, like, subscribe for the next shows. Right now, this is like Allen Iverson. This is just practice. We're talking about practice. The shows are going to get more intense, more detailed, more informative. And your feedback and the topics you would like to hear are more than welcome. To you can put them in the comments or message me or what have you. Okay. This has been your brother Saudi Man for EX-FAKTLY. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.